Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Over the past few months, all members have been receiving postcards with the slogan 5 to Survive, a campaign started by Community Living Ontario. Of the 10,000 letters sent, response from my riding of Haldimand Norfolk has been most pronounced. Families of loved ones with developmental disabilities see agencies like Community Living Haldimand, Norfolk Association for Community Living, and Community Living Access being starved of the resources they need to assist some of society's most vulnerable people, agencies that are so important to families. This government has done some good things, like tying ODSP to inflation. There has been good news, but if the agencies that sustain the people they support aren't sustainable, it's a moot point. Over the past 30 years, community living organizations have seen a meagre 3.9% increase to base funding. This is a sector that needs an immediate infusion. Speaker, through you to the Minister, will Ontario families supporting loved ones with developmental disabilities see the long-awaited 5% increase in the upcoming budget?
And to reply, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the honourable colleague for the very important question. Mr. Speaker, let me make it very clear. We said it, and the Premier has been very clear. We will make sure that no one in Ontario is left behind. Mr. Speaker, under the leadership of Premier Ford, we are investing over $1.5 billion in the sector, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that everyone receives the service. Now, Mr. Speaker, just to put it in perspective, that is $1 billion. Mr. Speaker, that's $1 billion more than the previous government was investing. Mr. Speaker, now that over $500 million more than when we formed government in supportive living for those who require service. So, Mr. Speaker, the previous government simply did not do enough. That wasn't good enough for this Premier. That wasn't good enough for this caucus. We said that we were not going to leave anyone behind. We're going to be there to provide them with the service. We've been there. I have visited literally every community living service that the member, including the one in the member's riding, to make sure that they know they have a partner in this government. We will not abandon them like the previous government did. We will.
Thank you. Supplementary question. Member for Haldimand Norfolk.
Thank you, Speaker. As I recognized in my original question, there have been some measures taken, but a car without its tires won't reach its destination. It's not hard. Just say yes to the 5%. I've met with a number of these agencies a number of times, and they are beaten down. They simply cannot find further savings. Programming has and is being cut, and there has been an exodus of underpaid staff. A 5% increase would be just enough to stabilize the sector and keep the lights on. It represents about $145 million to the base budget. I sat through pre-budget consultations last year whereby Community Living rang the alarm bells. They were back at the budget table this year. How many times do they have to show up before this government will take responsibility that they are the government of the day and they have to take meaningful action? I suggest this government stops talking about building houses for 5 seconds and listens to the 100,000 people who are currently needing this government's help. It's time to put the tires back on the car and let the rubber hit the road. Speaker, will the minister promise the 100,000 individuals and their families that the 2024 budget will ensure there will be no further cuts to their supports and services?
Mr. Children, Community and Social Services.
Very much, Mr. Speaker, and again I thank the honourable member for the question. Mr. Speaker, let me make it clear for the member and everyone in this House, no, we're not going to stop building homes in this province, Mr. Speaker. That's what I said earlier in my answer when I said, Mr. Speaker, the member's talking about investment. I'd be more than happy to repeat that, Mr. Speaker. We're investing over $3.7 billion in developmental services sector this year. That is $1 billion more than when we formed government, Mr. Speaker. The member talks about housing. I'd be more than happy to repeat that, Mr. Speaker. Nearly $500 million more being invested in supportive living for people in this province who rely on the housing. And no, we're not going to stop. We're going to make sure that every single person in this province who relies on the supports and services gets it. Because, Mr. Speaker, before in the previous government, they simply weren't getting that. And that's not good enough for us. We'll continue to fight for them. We'll make sure that they have the support they need, Mr. Speaker.